Welcome back to the channel USD Coins, coin collectors, history buffs, and treasure hunters. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone who found an old penny in a drawer and got curious, you're in for a fascinating ride today. In this video, we're diving deep into one of the most legendary coins in American numismatics, the 1941 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny. But this isn't just any ordinary penny. This specific variant is known to have sold for as much as $4.2 million, an astronomical leap from its humble 1-cent face value. So what makes this coin so incredibly valuable? How does a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about become one of the most sought-after and rarest coins in the world? Well, sit tight because we're about to take a detailed journey through its fascinating history, its mysterious errors, minting anomalies, and the extraordinary circumstances that contributed to its jaw-dropping price tag. To start, let's go back to the basics. The 1941 wheat penny, or more formally known as the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent, was produced by the United States Mint in significant quantities. Over 1 billion of them were struck across 3 minting facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of these coins were made from the standard bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, and featured the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the words, "In God We Trust," arched above his head, "Liberty," to his left, and the year, 1941, on his right. The reverse displayed 2 wheat ears, framing the inscriptions, 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto, E pluribus unum, above. At first glance, the 1941 wheat penny seems like an ordinary coin, part of the millions that circulated during the World War II era. So what could possibly make one version of this coin command a price exceeding $4 million? The answer lies in a mysterious and highly debated combination of minting errors, rare composition anomalies, and questions surrounding the mint mark, if there is one. It's a perfect storm of numismatic intrigue, technical oddities, and sheer improbability. Let's begin with the idea of mint errors. Coin collectors know that errors can drastically increase the value of a coin. These errors can be as simple as a misaligned die or a double strike, or as complex as a coin being struck on the wrong planchet. The 1941 wheat penny we're talking about here has been speculated to contain more than one of these types of errors, which adds to the mystique. First off, some versions of the coin have been found with double die errors, most commonly visible on the date, the word "Liberty," or the motto, "In God We Trust." Doubling happens when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly between strikes, resulting in a ghosted, mirrored image that can be seen without magnification in the most dramatic examples. While double die errors are fairly well known in other coins like the 1955 Lincoln cent or the 1969, yes, they are significantly rarer in the 1941 issue, and when they do occur, collectors go wild, but even that wouldn't make a coin worth millions. That's where the mystery deepens. There are accounts and rumors in the numismatic world of a 1941 wheat penny being struck not on the regular bronze planchet, but rather on a transitional or experimental planchet, such as a steel or silver composition. Now keep in mind, 1943 was the year the U.S. Mint famously switched from bronze to steel cents to conserve copper for the war effort. So, if a 1941 penny was struck on a steel planchet, that would be 2 years ahead of schedule and highly unusual. The prevailing theory is that a blank steel planchet may have accidentally gotten into the production line at one of the mints, most likely Philadelphia, since coins from that facility don't bear a mint mark, and was struck using the 1941 dies. The result would be a coin unlike any other from its year, both in appearance and composition. Furthermore, there are also tales of 1941 pennies with silver or other exotic metal content. While no official records confirm such striking experiments for that year, we do know that the mint occasionally struck test coins in non-standard compositions. Such planchets may have been mixed in by mistake, or struck intentionally as test runs, which then somehow escaped into circulation. Finding a 1941 penny on a silver or aluminum planchet would be like finding a unicorn. It defies expectations and pushes the coin far beyond its typical value. Then there's the issue of the mint mark, or in some cases, the lack of it. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint do not carry a mint mark, while those from Denver have a D, and those from San Francisco bear an S. Errors involving the mint mark, including missing, misplaced, or even repunched marks, are another layer of rarity that can drive collectors' interest. One particular story mentions a 1941 D penny where the D mint mark appears to have been stamped twice, slightly off register. This variety is known as a repunched mint mark, RPM, and it's a legitimate minting error that happened when the mint mark punch was applied more than once, but in a slightly different location each time. Coins with dramatic RPMs can bring significant premiums at auction, especially if they are from years and mints where such errors are less common. Another aspect of the 1941 cents allure is its condition. The most valuable version of the coin was reportedly graded as being in nearly perfect mint state, with very few contact marks and sharp detail. When a coin is preserved in such condition, especially when it's old and rare, collectors compete fiercely to own it. The value of condition in coin grading can't be overstated. Two of the exact same coins can differ in value by thousands or even millions depending on how well they've been preserved. Now, let's consider the historical and emotional context surrounding the coin. The year 1941 was the last full year before America officially entered World War II after the attack on Pearl Harbor in December. The U.S. economy was shifting rapidly, industrialization was accelerating, and millions of Americans were on the cusp of a massive global conflict. Coins minted during this time carry the weight of that transition, a link to the past and to people's daily lives during one of the most significant periods of the 20th century. For some collectors, owning a rare 1941 penny is about more than just rarity, it's about holding a tangible piece of American history in their hands. Another factor is the sheer mythology that can develop around a coin. Stories begin to circulate, sometimes from credible numismatists, sometimes from enthusiastic collectors or media outlets, that spark a frenzy. If a story breaks that a particular coin sold for millions, interest skyrockets. Even people who know very little about coins begin checking their jars and drawers. The rumor mill feeds the market, which in turn raises the profile, and often the price, of that coin. In the case of the 1941 penny, there's one particular example that has become almost mythical, reportedly auctioned at a private sale for $4.2 million. While exact details of that sale are hard to verify and may never be publicly confirmed, the mere belief that such a coin exists and has sold for that much continues to fuel excitement and speculation. It's important to recognize that not every 1941 penny is valuable, millions of them were minted, and most are still only worth a few cents to a few dollars in circulated condition. But when you factor in rare errors, unusual compositions, perfect condition, historical significance, and a touch of mystery, the potential value can skyrocket. This is what makes coin collecting so endlessly fascinating, the chance that a small, unassuming object might turn out to be something truly exceptional. There's also a forensic quality to high-end numismatics. Specialists will scrutinize these rare coins under powerful magnification, study their die patterns, metal composition, and even microscopic features to determine authenticity and origin. Sophisticated tools like scanning electron microscopes and X-ray fluorescence analyzers are sometimes used in authentication processes. In the case of the legendary 1941 Liberty Cent, it's not just about visual inspection but also metallurgical analysis, provenance tracing, and expert consensus. Only then can such a coin command millions at auction or in a private sale. Let's also not forget the role of collectors and dealers in perpetuating the value of coins like the 1941 penny. Numismatic societies, auction houses, grading companies, and prominent private collectors help set the tone for what's considered valuable. When a high-profile collector adds a rare variant to their collection, it adds legitimacy and interest. Grading agencies like PCGS or NGC give coins a professional seal of approval, and if a rare 1941 penny receives an ultra-high grade like MS 68 or higher, that adds immense weight to its valuation. Today on this deep dive into one of the most intriguing coins in American history. Whether you're a passionate coin collector, a curious history enthusiast, or someone who just stumbled upon the mystery of rare currency, you're in for a treat. In this video, we're going to explore the fascinating story of the 1945 Liberty 1 cent wheat penny, an unassuming copper coin with a face value of just 1 cent that has stunned collectors and experts alike by selling for as much as $4.1 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth over $4 million. But how could such a common, everyday coin become one of the most valuable pieces in the world? What makes it so special? Is it magic, is it myth, or is it something else entirely? Let's unravel the details. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny, also commonly referred to as the Liberty 1-cent coin, was minted during a period of significant historical and political change. The world was on the verge of exiting the chaos of World War II, and the United States Mint was working under immense pressure to keep up with the nation's economic demands. Millions of coins were being struck each month at various minting facilities located in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Under these demanding conditions, it's no surprise that mistakes sometimes slipped through. What's remarkable, though, is just how valuable these mistakes have become in the eyes of collectors. To understand the uniqueness of this penny, it's essential to take a closer look at what the 1945 wheat penny normally is. Most of the 1945 1-cent coins were struck in bronze, composed primarily of copper, with small traces of zinc and tin. These coins feature the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, along with the word "Liberty" and the phrase, "In God We Trust," along the top. The date, 1945, appears to the right of Lincoln's bust. On the reverse side, we see the classic wheat ears flanking the words, 1 cent and United States of America, with the motto, E pluribus unum, along the top rim. Billions of these coins were minted in 1945, over 1 billion to be more precise, with the Philadelphia Mint alone producing more than 1 billion coins. Denver and San Francisco contributed millions more. Under ordinary circumstances, this would make the 1945 penny a very common and relatively low-value coin for collectors. However, a handful of these coins were struck with anomalies that dramatically increased their worth. This is where things get interesting. The particular 1945 wheat penny that fetched a staggering $4.1 million is no ordinary cent. It is believed to be a mint error coin, one that likely escaped the mint under extraordinary circumstances. But what sort of errors could make a penny so incredibly valuable? There are several possibilities, and each one adds to the legend and rarity of this coin. One of the primary reasons this coin is so valuable is because of a rare minting error involving the coin's composition. While most 1945 pennies were struck in bronze, a few were mistakenly struck on leftover planchets, or blank metal discs, intended for coins of different denominations or compositions. For instance, during the war years, from 1943 through 1945, the U.S. Mint experimented with various metal compositions due to shortages of copper, which was being diverted to support the war effort. In 1943, for example, pennies were made from zinc-coated steel. Though the Mint returned to copper-based compositions by 1944, some steel planchets may have remained in the production line by accident. A few of these steel blanks could have been used to strike 1945 pennies, resulting in a coin with an incorrect and rare composition. These off-metal strikes are among the most coveted mint errors and can command enormous sums at auction. Another major contributing factor to the value of the $4.1 million Liberty penny is the presence of possible double dies. A double die occurs when a coin is struck from a die that has been misaligned or impressed more than once, causing a doubling effect on the images or inscriptions. This can be seen in areas like the date, the word "Liberty," or "In God We Trust." In certain rare 1945 pennies, these double die errors are so pronounced and dramatic that they are visible even without magnification. Collectors go wild over such errors because they represent a flaw in the minting process that should never have left the factory. Each double die coin is unique, which further increases its appeal and value. Yet another error that elevates the rarity of the 1945 Liberty penny is related to its mint mark, or, in some cases, the absence or misplacement of one. Typically, pennies minted in Philadelphia do not have a mint mark, while those from Denver have a small d, and those from San Francisco bear an s. Occasionally, coins have been found with mint marks that are either repunched, meaning a mint mark was struck more than once in different positions, or completely missing when it shouldn't be. Even more intriguing are those that appear to have hybrid mint marks, anomalies that suggest the use of mismatched dies or deliberate tampering within the mint. These irregularities are incredibly rare and highly sought after. It's also worth considering the condition of the coin. Most coins from 1945 have been circulated and show signs of wear and tear from decades of use. However, the multi-million-dollar penny is believed to be in mint state condition, or close to it, meaning it has no significant signs of wear and has retained its original luster and detail. Coins in this pristine condition are very rare, especially from older years, because they were often used in everyday transactions and not preserved. A mint state error coin with a rare composition and mint mark irregularities is a dream find for any numismatist. Beyond the technical errors, the story and mystery surrounding the coin add to its mystique and perceived value. Some believe that this coin may have been a prototype or pattern coin, intentionally struck in limited numbers for testing or presentation purposes but never officially released to the public. These kinds of coins are usually retained by the U.S. Mint or destroyed, making their accidental release a major event. If the $4.1 million penny falls into this category, it represents a once-in-a-generation discovery, much like the famed 1933 Double Eagle gold coin, which was also never meant to be in private hands. In the world of numismatics, provenance matters. A coin with a well-documented history, previous ownership by prominent collectors, and certification by top grading services can greatly influence its market value. The record-breaking 1945 penny has reportedly been authenticated and graded by top-tier organizations like PCGS or NGC, giving buyers confidence in its authenticity and quality. It may also have been featured in famous collections or appeared in major numismatic publications, increasing its fame and desirability. Then there's the role of the market itself. The value of a coin is not determined just by its rarity or its condition, but also by the demand among collectors. The coin collecting community thrives on discoveries like this, and wealthy collectors are often willing to pay astronomical sums for the privilege of owning a legendary coin. Auctions can turn into fierce bidding wars, with millionaires and museums alike vying for pieces of numismatic history. The $4.1 million sale of the 1945 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny likely happened in just such a setting, where excitement, reputation, and rarity collided to create a perfect storm. Let's not forget the emotional and historical significance attached to coins like this. The 1945 penny serves as a time capsule from a pivotal moment in world history. It was minted at the close of World War II, a time when the world was undergoing monumental change. Soldiers were returning home, economies were being rebuilt, and a new era was dawning. Holding such a coin in your hand is like holding a piece of that transformation, a relic that connects us directly to the lives and struggles of the people who lived through it. Interestingly, stories of rare and valuable pennies have fueled treasure hunts across the nation. Many people now comb through jars of loose change and inherited coin collections, hoping to stumble upon a $1 million piece hiding in plain sight. And it's not entirely unrealistic. Valuable coins have been found in circulation before, and the possibility that there are more out there, undiscovered, unrecognized, perhaps sitting at the bottom of an old piggy bank, continues to excite both amateur and experienced collectors. Today's deep dive is all about one of the most astonishingly valuable coins to ever come out of the United States Mint, a humble 1-cent piece that's worth over $3.9 million. You heard that right. A 1951 D. Lincoln wheat penny, originally worth just a single cent, has captured the attention of collectors, numismatists, and investors around the world because of its extraordinary set of errors, anomalies, and historical significance. Get ready for an in-depth journey through the reasons why this coin is anything but ordinary. Whether you're a casual collector or just someone curious about how a copper penny can be worth more than a mansion, stick around. You won't want to miss what makes this coin so incredibly valuable. To understand the magnitude of this penny's worth, we first need to dive into the background of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln cent became a staple of American pocket change. For over 5 decades, the reverse design featured 2 wheat stalks flanking the words, 1 cent, giving it the nickname Wheat Penny. The series continued until 1958 before the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. The 1951 D penny comes near the tail end of the wheat penny's production life, and while most of these coins were made in the millions and passed through hands unnoticed, a few extraordinary specimens defied the ordinary. Now, what makes the 1951 D Lincoln cent particularly special isn't just its design or historical era. It's the specific errors and minting anomalies found in a rare subset of these coins. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, one of three main U.S. mint facilities operating at the time. Typically, the Denver Mint was known for producing coins with higher consistency, but in 1951, a number of Lincoln wheat pennies were struck with errors that would later make them legendary in the numismatic world. One of the most discussed elements of the 1951 D wheat penny is the potential for double die errors. These occur when a coin is struck by a die that was misaligned or duplicated during its creation process. A double die can cause doubling of the design elements, particularly noticeable on the date, lettering, and Lincoln's features. On some rare 1951 D specimens, this doubling is so pronounced that it becomes visible to the naked eye. It's these dramatic visuals that collectors chase because they are evidence of a critical minting mistake that somehow made it into circulation, but it doesn't stop there. The true allure of the 1951 D wheat penny lies in the extraordinary combination of several types of errors. In some rare cases, a coin might display a repunched mint mark. This happens when the mint mark is punched into the die more than once but in slightly different positions. The result is a D that appears to have a shadow or multiple impressions. These repunched mint marks are incredibly valuable, especially when combined with other errors like off-center strikes or die cracks, both of which add to the coin's uniqueness and therefore its value. Off-center strikes are another type of mint error that collectors prize. Imagine a coin being struck not perfectly in the center of the planchet, resulting in part of the design being cut off while another section is expanded unnaturally. In normal production, such coins would be discarded, but some do escape the mint's quality control and end up in circulation. A 1951 D Lincoln cent with a significant off-center strike, especially if combined with a repunched mint mark or a double die, becomes a multi-error specimen that dramatically increases its value in the eyes of collectors. Die cracks and die breaks are less visually dramatic but still highly collectible. These appear as raised lines or odd shapes on the coin where the die used to strike the coin began to fracture or wear down. Such flaws are essentially fingerprints of the minting process and serve as a record of how that specific coin was produced under imperfect conditions. When collectors find a 1951 D wheat penny with pronounced die cracks, especially ones that intersect with important design elements like Lincoln's profile or the lettering, they know they're holding something special. Another compelling reason why a 1951 D Lincoln cent could be worth over $3.9 million is its rarity in high-grade conditions. Most pennies from this era have long been worn down from decades of circulation. They've been dropped, rubbed, and handled so much that any fine detail has long since disappeared. But every so often, a coin surfaces that has been preserved in pristine condition, either because it was pulled from circulation early or stored under perfect conditions. A 1951 D penny graded MS 67 or higher by a reputable grading agency like PCGS or NGC can fetch tens of thousands of dollars on its own. If that high-grade condition is coupled with one or more of the aforementioned errors, the value skyrockets. Now you might be wondering, how could a coin like this reach the astronomical price of $3.9 million? The answer lies in a combination of historical significance, minting errors, scarcity, and collector demand. But there's also the element of provenance. When a coin with an impressive history, say, a coin once owned by a renowned collector or discovered in a famous hoard, comes up for sale, its value is amplified by the story behind it. Some reports suggest that one specific 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny, exhibiting multiple major errors and graded at the highest level known for that year and mint, sold at auction for just under $4 million due to fierce bidding from private collectors and institutions. Auction dynamics also play a huge role. At high-profile coin auctions, bidding wars between wealthy collectors can drive prices far beyond estimated values. These collectors aren't just buying a coin, they're buying a piece of American history, a bragging right, and in some cases, a strategic investment. Coins like the 1951 wheat penny serve as both relics and financial assets, especially when their rarity is confirmed by professional appraisers and grading services. Let's not forget the allure of discovery. One of the reasons why coins like the 1951 penny continue to fascinate is because they might still be out there. Tucked away in an old jar, hidden in an attic, or sitting unnoticed in a family coin collection, a rare error coin could be waiting to be found. This possibility fuels an entire community of amateur and professional treasure hunters who check every penny they come across, hoping to strike gold, figuratively speaking, by finding that 1 in a billion coin that could change their lives. Another layer to this fascinating story involves counterfeit detection and authentication. With a coin valued at millions, there's bound to be an effort to replicate its appearance by forgers. That's why it's absolutely essential for high-value specimens to be certified by professional grading services. These experts analyze not only the errors and condition of the coin but also its metallurgical composition, die characteristics, and microscopic details to ensure authenticity. If a coin passes all these tests and possesses the known traits of a genuine error-riddled 1951 Lincoln penny, then it earns its place among the rarest and most coveted coins in the world. It's also worth exploring how the public perception of coin collecting has evolved. What used to be a hobby largely reserved for retirees and history buffs has turned into a dynamic market where rare coins are considered alternative assets. Just like art, wine, or sports memorabilia, coins with unique histories and visual appeal now occupy a niche in the investment world. As inflation rises and people look for stable, tangible assets, the value of rare coins, particularly ones with verifiable provenance and grading, continues to rise. The 1951 Lincoln cent with multiple errors becomes not just a coin, but a portable, historical investment. Interestingly, some theories suggest that more examples of valuable 1951 error pennies may exist but remain unidentified due to lack of awareness. Most people, when glancing at a penny, don't think twice. They certainly don't examine the mint mark, date, or subtle design features under magnification. But coin experts know better. They understand that the tiniest irregularity, an extra line on a letter, a misaligned mint mark, or an unusual surface pattern, could mean the difference between pocket change and $1 million discovery. That's why educating collectors and the general public is so important. The story of the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny is, at its core, a testament to the unpredictable and often astonishing world of minting errors. It's a reminder that even in a tightly controlled industrial process like coin production, anomalies can and do occur. When these anomalies happen under just the right circumstances, at a significant mint, during a critical historical period, and affecting a widely distributed denomination, the resulting coins can become legendary. There are also speculative factors that add to the mystique. Some believe that certain 1951 pennies may have been part of experimental production runs or struck with transitional planchets, coin blanks intended for another year or design. Although unconfirmed, these theories add to the intrigue and drive both investigation and speculation within the numismatic community.